Oh, hi, Rockstar. Hi, it's Allison Gill of the Mueller, She Wrote in Daily Beans. Hi.
Hello, good morning.
Listen, you just said, did you see my tweet? I'm like, yes, I see every one of your tweets. And I like and retweet almost all of them. You said many were worried that Judge Cannon and Donald could delay the DOJ classified documents investigation for months. As it turns out, the delay lasted 16 days. Happy Saturday. That was happy clappy. And I retweeted.
Yeah.
I have said this before, Allison. We just had our shared hunk, Glenn Kirschner, on Friday, and I really do feel like justice is coming. And I don't know on which front, and maybe all of them, and when, but it certainly is. There is a lot, as you always point out, for all the people saying nothing's happening, a lot's been happening.
Yeah, quite. Particularly that the hammer that Tish James brought down in 222 pages of a lawsuit against Trump and his crotch goblins, and I'm exceedingly excited about that one because that, honestly, I mean, if he gets indicted, yeah, he should be indicted. We need accountability. We need rule of law in this country. But he'll get like 3 to 8 years maybe, and because he doesn't have a criminal history, believe it or not. He doesn't have a rap sheet, and he probably won't go to jail. He'll probably be on home confinement so he can continue to have a Secret Service. This New York Attorney General Tish James lawsuit is what will break him.
Yeah. Here's the part where it seems like he almost forgot Eric's name. Travis, is that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, hang on.
Rather than spending all of her time going after me and my family, Ivanka, think of it, Ivanka. Ivanka is a very good person. Don Jr., he's a good person. Eric.
Oh, that's it, Eric.
He's a good people. This crazy radical leftist nut job, James, should be going after the killers, the gangbangers, drug dealers at MS-13.
Okay. All right. Anyway, good on him for remembering Eric. I have to say that, but did he not sound rapey when he said Ivanka? He sounds creepy.
Like a chill, like, you, Ivanka. Yeah.
Yeah, he sounds like he had a little. Oh yeah, think about it. Okay. Ew. So all right, Tish James. Can we just say, you had tweeted the ODNI has resumed its national security risk assessment of the classified documents obtained pursuant to the August 8th search of Mar-a-Lago. The risk assessment is inextricably linked to the criminal investigation. To me, that seems the most important one. I mean, you're right. Criminally, the Tish James thing is huge, but this really is our national security.
Yes. Now, criminally speaking and national security wise, the Mar-a-Lago documents investigation is the most important. But I was just talking about pure consequences, pure schadenfreude joy consequences. I think we're going to get the most out of the Tish James lawsuit. But for our national security, no, it's definitely the national security issue and the national security risk assessment that the ODNI is doing right now that Judge Cannon and Donald Trump tried to stop or delay, which is bananas to me. And by saying he can declassify things with his mind, what's worse, that the documents with human intelligence and a potential allies nuclear secrets and nuclear weapons readiness was out there and declassified for anyone to have, or that he had them and they were classified and stolen? I mean, who cares if he declassified them with his mind or not? It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, I saved a couple of tweets for you because starting from Mueller, she wrote, starting from the Mueller report, isn't it amazing all of the full circleness? And I know we don't know all the shoes to drop yet, but somebody tweeted the fact that pardoned Paul Manafort, who gave internal polling data to the Russian intelligence agent he worked with, was at Mar-a-Lago when the stolen top secret documents were held on premises, is highly problematic. Noel Kassler, our friend, said Trump met with Putin 5 times as POTUS. Each time he kept what they said a secret. During his campaign in 2016, he sought and received Russia's help. His son-in-law set up back channels to the Kremlin. When he left office, he stole top secret documents, and Putin invaded Ukraine. Probably all a coincidence. I mean, from being in the middle of this for so long, there's going to be other shoes to drop. And I'm not sure we're still capable of being shocked, right, about what Donald Trump would do about against this country.
No, there's nothing that he wouldn't do that would put us in peril. He doesn't care about the United States or its security in any way, shape, or form. And yeah, I think I tweeted about like, let's tie all this together, shall we? The fact that, secrets were that we had to, you remember back in 2018, we had to exfiltrate one of our spies from Russia because he was put in danger. Do you really think that was just coincidence? I mean, there's just absolutely no way.
Yeah.
Jared gave traitors to the crown intel to Mohammed Bonesaw, who had them either executed or exiled, and then now he gets a $2 billion gift. I mean, it's just really, I think they'll find a lot of things. And one of the things that the DOJ keeps harping on, and the ODNI keeps harping on, is that, we have to find out where we still haven't recovered all the documents.
Mm-hmm.
There were 90 empty folders. And we have to continue this risk assessment. And it's linked to the criminal investigation because we have to know where this information went, if it was compromised. The fact that it was just down in Mar-a-Lago in a basement means it was compromised. So I think you're right. We're going to find out a lot of really, really scary stuff, and probably stuff that we won't find out about because it's so top secret.
Well, but you heard what Michael Cohen said, that he has this stuff he stole. He will blackmail the United States government to get out of going to prison. That I will release this, whatever it is, nuclear, whatever information. I mean, that's terrifying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and his lawyers were up there talking to Wyndham last Thursday at Maine Justice, purportedly about, executive privilege assertions over folks like Patsy Maloney and Pat Philbin and Eric Hirschman, who's a riot, by the way.
I love him. More
So
F-bombs per square inch than any lawyer I've seen on TV thus far. Fantastic.
So it seems he seems a little Dom. He seems a little Dommy. Like,
Yes, yeah.
take it easy with your justice
Get an effing
bat.
lawyer. Give me the best effing advice I'll ever effing give you. Get an effing criminal defense lawyer. How you doing?
Like he's having some serious parties. So yeah, we just have to very, very carefully watch that. But I'm wondering if and when he's going to make. He's already had somebody make a phone call to Merrick Garland saying, "It's a nice country you got here. It would be a shame if something happened to it." So I'm wondering when the outreach will be if he takes these nuclear documents and said, "Boy, I have some interesting information on the nuclear weapon locations for England. Be a real shame if Putin found out about." When does it come?
You just, with everything happening around the world right now, Allison, with, Putin, Iran, you look at, I mean, I have to say, when, we know that he stole stuff about Macron, don't you think in your head, oh, he probably gave that to Le Pen? I mean, Donald has been part of this axis of autocracy, right? Basically.
Right, or he gave it to Putin. I mean, think about who's the only guy who had phone calls with Putin in the early days of the Ukraine invasion. It was Macron.
Yeah. Let's talk about this Matt Gaetz thing, because you tweeted about him. The career prosecutors recommend no charges for Gaetz in sex trafficking, and you said, given the fact this DOJ has been leak-proof and they've stayed true to their policy of not making overt investigative announcements within 60 days of an election, I have serious skepticism about the sources in this reporting. Tell us more about this. The fact that we know he already asked for a pardon in the sex trafficking case, I don't know, leads me to believe that he might be guilty, but you go ahead and what do you think is happening there?
Yeah, well, first of all, just because he is guilty doesn't mean we can prove it in a court of law and that prosecutors would recommend, prosecution because perhaps they don't think they can obtain or maintain. But that is a really sketchy article, isn't it? And by the way, the tweet that you just read was retweeted by the author of the article, which is weird. And his name is Devlin Barrett. And about a year ago, Devlin Barrett wrote a story, and it said the FBI has found no grand conspiracy in the attack on the Capitol on January 6th. And then 1 week later, Department of Justice issued a grand conspiracy indictment, a seditious conspiracy to be exact, against the Oath Keepers. Another Devlin Barrett also pops up in Donald Trump's lawsuit to Judge Cannon down in Florida because his news story that nuclear secrets are included in some of the documents that Donald had at Mar-a-Lago, was thinly sourced. Again, one source tells us it wasn't anybody in the DOJ, but he puts that in the article, and then Trump uses that as to say that the DOJ leaks and they're untrustworthy, and therefore we have to have a special master, and we can't trust them as far as what they say is classified and what isn't classified because of this Devlin Barrett story. And he's quoted Devlin Barrett right there in a footnote. So it's just an interesting. It's not anyone at the DOJ that leaked this. I'm 100% convinced this was a story that came from the Gaetz people.
Yeah.
Maybe Chuck Johnson, maybe Solomon, maybe John Solomon, maybe who knows who the source is. We don't, and it's one source, and it's not the DOJ. So I don't know. I don't trust it.
Interesting. Well, we shall see. You retweeted him saying, Gaetz saying, I'm going to play a critical role as the top member of the House Judiciary Committee, where we're going to be driving a lot of oversight and potentially even impeachments. And you just said vote. I mean, the fact that they're already openly talking about impeaching Biden, and nobody has given even a reason yet. But, they're saying, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Republicans to vote to impeach Biden. That's exactly what you're going to get if we get a Republican-controlled House, right?
Yeah, the House will definitely impeach him. The Senate won't convict him, but they'll do that. They'll have Fauci. They'll bring Fauci in on trial like Benghazi all over again. And, even though they're sitting here with the January 6th committee saying there's no cross-examination, there's no this, like treating it like a trial. It's just, they'll do that, the same exact thing they did with Benghazi, and it'll be an S show.